Good morning. Good morning. My name is Lakeisha Hines. You're watching a Couples Academy show. I'm Dolo today, but it's okay. It is okay. I want you all to let me know where you are streaming from. Let me know where you are streaming from. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We want to make sure that you are telling all of your friends and your family about the Couples Academy show. There is so much going on in 2023, and you don't want your friends and family members to miss out. So I want you all to please make sure again that you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. I see you posting in the chat where you're streaming from. Do that so I can shout you out. Today, we are talking about how you can build your self esteem after infidelity. And I just want to share that I know that infidelity is tough. It's tough on both sides for the betrayed and the betrayer. But there's self esteem issues that take place within the betrayed that takes quite some time to recover from. Also, there's self esteem loss for the betrayer as well, many, many times because the betrayer begins to question their own judgment and how they permitted themselves to get into such a predicament. So there's definitely self-esteem issues again that can come up for both parties. So we will talk about how to go about rebuilding that self-esteem post infidelity. I'm excited. If you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. You know, we do our best to try to answer you guys' questions. And if this is resonating with you, let me know that it's resonating with you. Okay. So that I can again shout you out and make sure that we are giving you what you want and you need this morning. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The first thing that you need to do when you are trying to recover from infidelity and on that journey of rebuilding your self esteem is to silence your inner critic. Silence your inner critic. This is so important because what you are telling yourself as you are going through this process is a direct reflection of how you actually think about yourself and then how you begin to move throughout this process, throughout this journey, throughout your relationship. So it is critical that you work on silencing that inner critic because, again, those private conversations that you have with yourself, they're either going to be a powerful stepping stone or a major obstacle to you reaching your goals. And so if you're saying things like, I'm crazy for staying in this relationship, they're never going to change. It's never going to get better. You're never going to be good enough. You keep telling yourself like that, things like that over and over and over again, eventually you will start to believe them and the actions will follow suit. So because they'll never change, then I'm not going to work on changing. Because I'll never be enough, then I'll stop trying to be better. I'll never be able to trust again. Then you keep walls up and barriers up, and you never allow your spouse to get inside into the inner depths and inner workings of your heart because you've told yourself all of these negative things. And it literally can become downright self-destructive. Self-destructive. And then to me, that becomes self-sabotage because not only is your self-esteem affected, but now you're reducing your feelings of self-worth. And now it gives you an excuse not to face the things that you actually fear. So that inner critic causes you to believe untruths about yourself. And every time you allow yourself to believe that negative self talk, every time you don't silence that inner critic, you listen to that inner critic, they win. And so anytime you hear these things moving forward, you literally have to say, shut up. Okay, to your inner critic. I love how Danielle says, nope. So sometimes when there are thoughts that come up in your head, maybe you just need to say nope, or you need to say not today, or you need to say I reject that, or you need to say I don't accept that, or whatever it is that your negative self-talk is saying, whatever it is that your inner critic is saying, you say the opposite. And I do this with clients all the time where I will walk them through how to create affirmations that are valuable and important and significant to them individually. So one of the examples that I gave you was, I'll never be enough. If that's what the negative critic is saying, if that is the negative self-talk that you're hearing, then the way that you counteract that is by saying, I am enough. They'll never change. They will change through the grace of God. Whatever it is, you say the opposite. Speak that out of your mouth, because the more you speak it, the more you'll believe it. And I truly believe in the power of manifestation. And so the more you say it, the more you're putting it out there into the universe, the more likely it will actually happen. All right. Very, very seldom do you get any type of positive feedback or any feedback that is worthwhile from your inner critic. And so, literally, that inner critic is just there to deter you, to get you off track, to distract you, to prevent you from walking in the fullness of whatever it is that you desire for your life and whatever it is that God has for your life. All right. So, silence that inner critic. The next thing that after infidelity is to stop the comparisons. Stop the comparisons. This one is huge because many times when it's been a physical affair, oftentimes the betrayed will compare themselves to the affair partner. We are in this world, this generation, this space of competitiveness, right? And so it's all about the haves and the have-nots. And many times, this is measured based on material things, external beauty. Every time you go on social media, you're looking at somebody with their shirt off or somebody half dressed, somebody flexing, showing you what they're working with. They've been working out in the gym and they looking good. And I'm not mad at that. But the issue is, or the issue becomes, when you are comparing yourself to someone else. You can't be anybody but who God created you to be. So you have to stop using other people's standards as your own. What is the standard that God set for you? What is the standard that you set for yourself, independent of someone else? Okay, independent of what someone else has going on and whatever it is that they're doing. So we can't use other people's um goals, visions, and dreams as our own, unless that is something that God gave you for yourself or something that you came up with independently on your own. And then perhaps then you can connect with that person where you all can be accountability partners. But you don't use somebody else's journey as a measurement for your own, right? And all of these external things, material things, external beauty, circumstances, all of these things, we cannot base our happiness on these things. Why? Because they can't satisfy us over an extended period of time. It's temporary, right? And we're looking for those things that are permanent. We're looking for those things that are not fleeting, those things that cannot be taken away. And the one thing that cannot be taken away is your self esteem. So build that up, right? Because that's something that isn't fleeting unless you allow it to be. And comparing yourself to the affair partner many times is self-sabotage as well, because again, you will never be that person because you were not created to be that person. And many times the affair really doesn't have much to do with the affair partner anyway. So it's a waste of your time and energy to be trying to compare yourself to whomever it is that your spouse connected with, because again, most times it has absolutely nothing to do with that other person. So it's a waste of your time to be trying to compare yourself to that other person. All right. Okay. The next thing that we could do to help build self esteem after infidelity is to spend time with your support system. Hopefully, you have a support system. And I'm thinking you need to have people in your life who are supportive friends, supportive family members. And we have to get rid of all of those folks who have negative vibes, negative energy, never have anything positive to say, always talking down about your spouse or even judging you for your decision to stay with your spouse, right? And you really have to get rid of those people. Because guess what? You already are fighting the inner critic. You're already fighting that person. Now you're going to bring people externally to contribute to the noise, to the negativity, to that negative conversation. So now what you're doing is surrounding yourself with negativity. It's already in your mind because of the inner critic. And now you're going to get external people around you to add on to that negativity. And that does nothing but drag you down, suck all of your energy, and further lower your self-esteem. So you have to find positive people to be in your support system, friends and family, church members. Join a support group. We definitely have that here available for you with Unearthed, with Foundry, with Foundations, with the Moving Forward program. For those of you who attended Last Chance Weekend, like, we have support groups for you where you can get those positive vibes, that positive energy. But you need that. It's necessary. Otherwise, your energy again is drained and you got enough on your plate, right? So you don't have time to be fighting the inner critic and then fighting the people around you, trying to convince them that you made a good decision, trying to convince them that it will be better, when really you need to be trying to do that for yourself, right? So like I tell people all the time, I'm enough to deal with. I don't need other people also that I have to be trying to convince of anything at this point, because again, I'm trying to make sure I'm in a good space, right? Sometimes we lose friends after infidelity, right? Because we are so judgmental as people. I naturally we are judgmental. And so many times the people around you and your spouse will say, man, I think you should have left. If it was me, I would have. And people have to be so cautious and careful with that, because you don't know, unless you're in that exact position, you don't know what you will do until you're in those shoes. And even if that is the choice that you would make for yourself, it's not right for you to try to make someone else feel that they should do whatever it is that you would do, because you're not the same people. You are two completely different people. So again, sometimes we just need to zip it, right? Because again, if we don't have anything, this is what my mom taught me, this is what my grandmother taught me. If we don't have anything positive to say, then don't say anything at all. Okay, so that goes back to surrounding yourself with supportive friends and family members, positive people, because you're the one that has to live your life and you have to live with your decisions. And it's always easy for someone on the outside looking in to tell you what you should do and judge what it is that you're doing. All right, so you have to make those decisions for yourself. And as I said, when you're on that journey toward infidelity recovery, it all begins with a made up mind, and you have to make up your mind what it is that you're going to do. If you're going to leave, leave. If you're going to stay, stay, and understand your why, because your why is going to be the motivation to keep you going when you feel like tapping out and when you feel like quitting. So we're going to take a quick break. I don't want you guys to go anywhere. Don't swipe left. Don't swipe right. Don't do anything. You stay right here. We'll be right back. You're watching a Couples Academy show.
Hey family, Hassani and Danielle here, and I want to tell you about the Phoenix Awards Gala happening on October 7th, 2023. Couples Academy is hosting its first annual Phoenix Awards Gala, a celebration of perseverance, patience, and persistence, focused on couples who have endured and overcome significant hardships in their marriages.
Nominees of this prestigious award will have come to the brink of destruction in their marriage without giving up, and are living a testimony to what is possible when two stand as one.
This is no ordinary gala. We are honoring 5 of the most resilient couples across the U.S. and abroad. And here's the most exciting part. You get to pick our nominees. And there's more. Wear your most exquisite gowns and black tie ensembles and prepare for a 50-foot red carpet, cocktail reception, dinner, live music, and dancing. We're going to raise the roof and the standard for marriages on October 7th, and we want you to be there.
For tickets, go to couplesacademy.org/events.
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're watching the Couples Academy show, and we are talking about ways to build your self-esteem post infidelity. Post infidelity. I just want to say good morning to Aubrielle. I think it's Aubrielle, Rochelle, Callie Power Couple, Keno, and Mr. Gardner. What's up, Mr. Gardner? How are you, sir? So again, this affects both sides, betrayed and betrayer. So I don't want you all to feel as if I am only talking to the betrayed. I'm talking to both of you because, again, both sides are impacted by infidelity, and self-esteem can really infidelity can really wreak havoc on your self-esteem. All right. I want to share this comment from Aubrielle, and also I saw that you said you'll be at Last Chance Weekend this weekend, and that is amazing. Congratulations on your decision to move forward in the healing process and to begin your journey toward healing and transformation. It will be powerful, life-changing. Those of you who didn't get in this month, you need to get in next month. Change your life, change your marriage, change your life, change your marriage. All right. So Aubrielle said, I can say I've dealt with that and currently still is. It's just hard to fight when the behaviors of the unfaithful spouse appears to be questionable and resemble the trauma that was faced. Yes, ma'am. I completely get that. I understand exactly where you're coming from. And yes, it is hard to fight when you are seeing behaviors that trigger you or that are questionable and, remind you of the past behaviors. And what I will say to that is you cannot base your actions on the actions of your spouse. If we were to constantly wait for our spouses to show up the way that we want them to before we show up the way God wants us to, we will never move forward and we will continue to be stuck. Because here's the thing, this is the piece that's hard to swallow. This is the piece that many times people, they miss and they don't think about. The way that we show our love for God is through how we treat our spouses. And God is going to hold you accountable for each and everything that you do. So if you are waiting for your spouse to show up the right way before you act the right way, guess what? You will be out of order. You will be out of alignment with God, and He can't bless you, nor can He bless your marriage. So I understand that you are scared. I understand that you are questioning whether or not they're sincere, whether or not they will change, whether or not they're going to show up and do the work. But I promise you, if you focus on you while your spouse is focusing on him, you guys will move forward in a parallel way. You remember how we learned back in elementary school in math class about parallel lines, that they move simultaneously, right? They're side by side parallel lines, and they never intersect and they never touch. Well, while you're on this infidelity recovery journey, you kind of have to have the mindset of being parallel lines, because you have to walk your path. Your spouse has to walk their path, but eventually, you will no longer be parallel lines and you will intersect if you do the work. If you don't do the work, then you'll continue to be parallel lines and you'll never come back together. And I hope that makes sense to you, because it's so important that you both do your individual work. Your journeys are very different. Trust the process. You're going to hear that multiple times this weekend, but do it because it actually works. All right. So let's dive back in to our ways that we can rebuild self-esteem after infidelity. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be perfect. None of us are. Oh my gosh. I am a recovering perfectionist. Okay. Recovering perfectionist. So I'm telling you something that I know, not something that I heard, something that I know. Perfection literally can become an unhealthy obsession. An unhealthy obsession. Marissa Bury said the idea of perfection, no flaws, no issues, no problems, seems to infiltrate all our lives at one time or another. And like the yearning for perfection in the workplace, we also yearn for perfection in other aspects of our life, whether it is a perfect family, perfect spouse, perfect job, or some other kind of perfect life situation. And living in a society that embraces achievement, it's no surprise that many Americans feel compelled to meet such high standards in their lives. But perfection is going to drive you crazy. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So we have to make sure that the goal is progress and not perfection. There's a difference. I can be satisfied, I can be happy, I can be content if I am making progress. But if I am striving for perfection, I will never get there. Therefore, I will constantly be unhappy, dissatisfied, unfulfilled, disappointed, because I am striving for something that will never happen. We will never be perfect. And looking to our spouses to be perfect also is a setup for failure, because they are human beings just like us and they will never be perfect. And many times we're waiting on our spouses to be perfect before we show up the way we need to. And again, it is an unaccomplishable feat. We cannot do it. It is impossible. So we should in turn shift that from perfection seeking to progress seeking. Okay? Put your effort toward making progress instead of trying to be perfect, because you'll never get there. And I don't want you to continue to experience that level of disappointment, because that will make you tap out. That will make you tap out if you are not reaching any measurable goals, visible goals. You're not accomplishing anything. You're not making progress. You will tap out if you're not getting to the destination that you're seeking. So just make sure that your destination is an attainable one. Okay. All right. The next thing that we can do to build our self-esteem after infidelity is to spend our energy on things that we can actually change. Spend your energy on things that you can change. What can you change? Yourself. You cannot, okay, hear me well. Hear me well. Let me get close so you hear me. You cannot change anyone else but yourself. I just want you to hear it. I need you to hear it, because we waste so much time and energy trying to change our spouses, trying to change other people. We cannot, no matter how hard we try. And we try to adjust and alter our spouse's behavior and other people's behavior through our own behavior. It's literally the only thing that will cause you to continue to stay disconnected and to continue to have that discord, because you are constantly trying to change them and they just want to be themselves. So you're not in alignment, you're not in agreement, and therefore you argue. You may hear things, if you're trying to change someone else, you may hear things like, I just want to be myself. I'll never be able to satisfy you. I'll never be able to please you. I just feel like I can't be myself. And honestly, that is one of the reasons why infidelity occurs in the first place, because that affair partner allowed them to be their true, genuine, authentic selves, accepted them just for who they are, and did not try to change them. I just want you to think about that for a moment. And if you are the one who is constantly trying to be changed, it's important that you express to your spouse, not that, oh, you're trying to control me, you're trying to tell me what to do, you're trying to be the boss of me. Not that. You express how it makes you feel when they are trying to change you. Does it make you feel as if you're not good enough? Does it make you feel as if you are insufficient? Does it make you feel as if you're not attractive enough, or you don't make enough money? Whatever it is, go with the feeling that it causes and creates when they're trying to change you. Speak from the heart, and not from your mind, because your mind will tell you that they're just trying to tell you what to do. They're just trying to boss you around. They don't like you, they don't appreciate you. And that's the enemy, that's the inner critic, that's all of that will come in and be all the way wrong and tell you things that are not true. And then as you're expressing how them trying to change you makes you feel, then you also give your spouse an opportunity to communicate the why behind the what. And that's important too, that you reach a level of understanding and why they're trying to change you in the first place. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. All right, Mr. George says, if I feel therapy to help me and my wife move past my breaking our covenant. I'm not sure what your question is, Mr. George. If you want to rewrite that, that will be very helpful. I'm not sure what you're asking for or what you're asking me. But I will say this, you absolutely, if you were going through infidelity, you most certainly need to get into some therapy, get into some counseling. This is what we're here for. This is what we do every day, all day, 7 days a week. So you definitely need to reach out, make that discovery call, because I'm telling you, this is what we're here for. We're here to walk you through this process. We're here to help you navigate this process. So yes, make that discovery call today. Do not delay. Make the call. Start your journey. Start your journey toward marital restoration. I know couples who have tried to do this on their own. They have tried multiple times to do this on their own, and they have failed, because if you are not an infidelity recovery specialist, then you don't know the necessary steps. You may do some things right, but you will plateau and you won't be able to grow beyond a certain point because you don't know every step that's a part of this journey. So please reach out and get support. Again, that's what we're here for. So we want to make sure that you are getting all of the help that you need so you can get to where it is that you want to be. So guys, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in today in Hassani's absence, and just make sure that you stay in touch with us. Make sure you download the Couples Academy app so that you stay abreast to everything that is going on with Couples Academy. Make sure that you're watching all the shows. They're great shows that started this year. And so make sure that you are tuning in and watching that. Before I Do is on tonight. Make sure you watch Before I Do. I believe it's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but make sure that you are staying in touch. The resources and tools are there for you, is there for the taking. So you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you same time, same place tomorrow morning. All right. You all have a great day. Be blessed. Bye-bye.